If you are new to barre, I am about to initiate you. Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Mariah, and every week I bring you yoga, Pilates, and barre workouts. So if you like free workout videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button below. Today I'm taking you through a series of beginner moves for barre. It's going to be a full-length class, just like if you're going somewhere to a studio. Now, just keep in mind that these moves are going to be simple, but they're not going to be easy. So I highly encourage you to take it at your own pace, because your own pace is perfect. I'm just proud of you for showing up. You're gonna need a mat and one set of weights, probably in the neighborhood of 1 to 2 pounds to get started, maybe 3 if you're feeling fiery. Now let's get to work. All right, coming to the middle of our mat, we're taking the feet wide, about shoulder width distance apart, and coming into some sumo squats. So we take the weight back towards the heels, the knees are a little wider than the hips. We're pressing up on the exhale, inhale, lowering as low as you care to go today. Good, we want the knees to be happy with everything. So anytime that we're bending at the knees today, I want you to only take it as low as feels comfortable for your knees. There's no need to cause any type of pain or tension in your joints. Feeling that heart rate start to cruise on up, getting the heart rate elevated so that we can have better work. Our muscles are going to be warmer, longer, more supple, and better able to perform in the rest of the movements that we have. Good. Now from here, we're going to take it into a side lunge. So rather than both knees bending, we're going to lean over towards the right, and then it's a big lift off as we lift that knee up towards the chest. We come back down into that side squat on the same side, or side lunge. Yep. And then we repeat. So we keep this going on the same side. Don't worry, we'll get to that other side soon. Giant lift up. It's a little bit of a balance challenge as well, isn't it? Let's do 2, 1, and then we'll just shift over to the other side. So we're leaning now towards the left, the right leg is straight, and then as you straighten that left leg, cruise it all the way in, knee to chest. Good. Whew, so I'm getting sweaty already. Hey, that rhymed. Haha. We're gonna have fun together today. Let's do 3. Here's 2. And 1. Stepping out now into our plie. So plie is just a little bit different from the sumo squat in that the toes come out to the side. So toes are wider than the heels. We are in that wide leg squat with the toes turned out. And we're going to take it down and up. Down and up. So the tailbone is neutral. We're sending that tailbone right down towards the ground. The torso is upright, so be careful if you find yourself kind of pitching forward. We want to keep everything angling upright. And then look at your knees. If you notice they're caving in a little, let's use some strength to draw the backs of the knees back towards the wall behind you. Working some external rotation of those hips. You should be feeling this in your inner thighs. Yes, I hope so. I am. Good. Now from here, we're going to add a little toe tap. So we just gently transfer weight just a little bit from foot to foot as we tap these toes on the other side. Maybe finding a little bit of a rhythm here. And now let's add a cross body reach. So just reaching across your body as you tap on the other side. You can make this tap as big or as little as you'd like. Good. And don't worry, our warm-up is pretty long, but we're definitely getting work during the warm-up. This is for sure work. Yes. Whew. See if you can reach a little bit further. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Next, we're going to take the right leg behind us. So the weight is in the left leg. We're going to lunge, but as we lunge, we keep the torso upright, but we rotate towards that knee. So if you step back with the right foot, you're rotating towards that right knee. And then just straighten the legs. So the feet stay where they are, but as you come back towards center, you're just going to straighten those legs. And then again, towards that same side. Good. So because we're adding that rotation and our gaze, our vision is changing, that eyesight is actually really connected to our sense of balance. So in case you feel a little bit wobbly as you do that, totally normal. We're just practicing that sense of balance, which does get better the more that we work on it. So hopefully this is a practice you'll come back to again and again. That's certainly what it's designed for. And it's designed for beginners. It's simple movement, but as you can tell, it's not easy movement by any means. So you can continue to practice this and get benefit from it every time. Let's do 3, 2, 1. We're gonna take a giant step forward and then send the left leg back behind us into that lunge. So make sure we've stepped far enough back that when we bend that front knee, we can still see our toes. We're adding a rotation with that lunge now, and then rotate it up with straight legs. Good. Rotate back as you bend, forward as you straighten. Nice. Exhaling as you lower, perhaps. Inhaling as you rise, or vice versa. The exhales actually makes the rotation a little bit easier. If you exhale when you rotate, but if you exhale when you rise, that's going to make it a little bit easier on those legs. Definitely working hard here. For 3, 2, here's 1, come back towards that midline, and then we're actually going to keep that heel where it is. So from here, we're going to send the heel down, straightening into the back leg. We're gonna lift that back heel up as we extend arms forward. We're hinged forward a little bit and then lower it back down. Good, coming into our calf lengthening. Yeah, so finding even more length in the back of the calf muscles, warming everything up so we can get deeper into our squats and our lunges coming up during our standing series. Let's do 3. Here's 2. Now stay with me here. Hands could either come to the hips, or you can, for a little more or a lot more, you can extend those fingertips forward as you hinge all the way forward, shifting the weight completely into that front leg. And then we're gonna reach down towards the ground. We don't have to touch it. And then raise those hands up towards the sky. So reach it down, stretch it up. Reach it down, stretch it up. We are for sure feeling this in the front glute. We're also getting a really fantastic stretch and lengthening in that back hip flexor. Let's do 2. Here's 1. We're gonna pause at the top, lift those fingertips up so our spine is now upright, and we're gonna reach it over to one side and then over to the other. So one side will feel a little bit more natural than the other. We'll do that again. And let's step it back in. Opposite leg reaches behind you now for that calf lengthening on the other side. Lower heel down as you hinge forward, sweeping arms back. And then everything lifts up on one diagonal line and back down and up and down and up. So even though I'm hinging forward, I'm keeping a super flat spine. So my abdominals are hugging in a little bit here. So core is getting in on the action. Here's 2. Here's 1, that glute lengthening is next. So reaching it down, reaching up, bending down. That's flat back though. Remember that back stays flat and you'll feel a difference in the booty. Reach it up long. You got it. Here's 3. 2, I bet you're excited for these to be over. And let's take that side reach on each side. So challenging that balance again a little bit. Reaching over again. Last time, each direction. We're giving that heart rate just a touch of a breather. Not much though. We want to stay sweaty. And let's step it in. Good. From here, we're coming down onto a mat, onto all fours. Or if you have carpet, you don't even need a mat. From here, we're going to spread the fingers nice and wide, and the wrists are going to hover right underneath the shoulders. From here, tucking the toes underneath us, so those toes curl under. From all fours, my knees are right underneath my hips. I'm going to lift the knees only 3 inches and then tap the ground. Lift and tap. Now, every time I lift, I'm pulling my belly button into a little bit of a C curve for the spine. So it's like that belly button is riding up an elevator. And I'm gonna exhale as I lift those knees, inhale as I tap them. Wow, who knew such a simple movement could be so challenging? You're doing great. Almost done with our warm-up. We just have a couple more things to do. Let's do 3, 2. Here's 1. Excellent. From here, we're going to shift the knees back until there is no bend in the hips. So we're in a modified plank. We're gonna bend those elbows now and squeeze the elbows in towards the rib cage as we lower down for 5, 4, pull the belly in, 3, 2, and 1. So belly and chest ideally are touching the ground at the same time. Big inhale at the bottom, keep those elbows squeezing in next to the rib cage, and then it's 1 strong exhale, count up to the top. Whew, yes. Let's do that again, shall we? I know, you can do it. If coming all the way down doesn't completely work for you, then you can come part of the way down. We're at 3, 2, 1, and then big inhale, exhale, cruise on up. Let's do that one more time. Lowering down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Push it back up, back up, back up. Perfect. And then let's take the hips down just for a second. Find a little child's pose, so hips come towards heels, fingers are long. Whew, you did so well with that warm-up. And again, don't worry, you definitely worked super hard during that warm-up. So we're still counting that warm-up as part of our work. Let's come back on up to standing now as we move into our lower body section. Today we'll be working lower body and upper body at different times in order to really focus on the movement and simplify it a little bit for any beginners. Still a super challenging workout for sure. I'm starting with our squats. We're lowering down and lifting up. So these are gonna be hip width distance, so it's a little bit narrower than those sumo squats that we started with in our warm-up, and we're gonna be here quite a bit longer than we were during that round 1. Now, if at any point you feel like you want a little bit of stability assistance, feel free to hold on to a bar or a counter or a chair or a couch or whatever is kind of within reach. Yes, you got it. We're looking for 4 more full range, but we're not done with these squats. Here's 2, 1. Now come all the way up. I'm gonna have you lower down halfway, rise all the way up. So knees bend a little, they straighten all the way. Bend a little, stand all the way up. I'm gonna do that 2 more times. And now we're coming down to the basement of the squat. So the lowest part of your squat doesn't have to look like mine. Do make sure you can still see those toes, so you're moving those knees away from the front of the wall, moving your bottom towards the wall behind you, but pulling the belly in a little bit towards the spine. From here, we're lifting halfway up and then back down. So we're not fully standing. We're staying in that semi-bent position with the knees, which is what makes this so fun, wouldn't you agree? Woo! You may have another adjective for it, but I'm sticking with the word fun. This is amazing. We're going for 2. Here's 1. Now again, we find the bottom of your squat. Check in to make sure that you can still see your toes. We're gonna do 1 inch up, 1 inch down. It's so small, so controlled. Looking for 4, 3. Here's 2. Pause at the bottom. Now we're just gonna hold here for 15 seconds. I want you to again make sure you can see the front of your shins and your toes, so the weight is shifting back behind you. You're drawing the shoulders away from the ears, belly ears hugging inward, and then getting ready to add a little shift. We're going to alternate, first picking at the right heel, lowering, left heel lifts, lower. We're almost done here. Yes. We're looking for 2 more each side. Last one. And let's be done with squats. That is so good. Whew, so now you kind of have a feel for how long our sequences take. So just make sure you pace yourself accordingly. You can always keep your movement pattern a little bit smaller if you find that this is not doable today to stay in it the entire time. Of course, you can always take those micro breaks as well. Stepping out now in for our plies.
Again, you have the option to hold on to something beside you to help keep you secure. We're gonna take the heels wide, toes wider, and the tailbone comes down to the floor, and then straighten everything back up. Good. Now, as you straighten back up, I want you to really squeeze those inner thighs, give them a little extra contraction at the top. Our inner thighs don't often get a lot of work, especially in a lot of traditional fitness modalities. So in barre, we certainly make sure that we work those inner and outer thighs, the sides of the body, and those sometimes overlooked places because your body is designed to move in every direction. Let's do 2 more here. And then it's your choice this time. You can choose to go to the top half of your plie, or for a little more, you could take that bottom half of your plie. We're gonna be here for 12. So it's about a 6-inch range of motion. It's very controlled. You're sending the backs of your knees towards the wall behind you. And we're looking for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause here. I want you to take the left arm overhead, the right arm overhead. We're gonna inhale as we open those arms out to the sides of the shoulders. Exhale as we take them back up. Remember, you're still in your plie as we do this. This is our static hold. Every inhale opens those arms out just like a rainbow. Every exhale closes them. Last one. Perfect. Now from here, we're gonna take hands to hips and we're just gonna shift side to side. Feel free to do a little dance here. We're just having some fun. Getting a little bit more mileage out of this plie. Yes, you can do it. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Let's go ahead and toe heel those feet together. How are we doing? You're looking amazing. Okay, let's go ahead and find our lunges. So these, of course, we're gonna do 1 leg at a time. We're gonna step out with our right foot behind us. We're gonna stay upright for this lunge as we take that back knee towards the ground. I want you to just pause here and make sure that we're set up correctly. That front heel is actually pretty far forward so that our knee is only coming above the ankle, not above the toe. So, got that? Good. From here, we're gonna straighten the legs all the way and then bend them to your desired level. Straighten it back up on the exhale. Inhale as you lower. So we're always aware in barre of our posture. We're drawing shoulders away from ears. We're lifting that chest forward a little bit. We're drawing knitting the ribs together, though, drawing those ribs together so that the abdominals are working the entire time. Here's 3. Here's 2. 1. Let's just find the bottom of the lunge. Let's all do this together. We're gonna do that lower half, and it's lifting halfway up and then back down, halfway up, back down. Now, if the bottom of your lunge just lifted a little, hey, that's totally cool. We are just doing the best that we can. Your best is amazing. Your best is perfect. Here's 4, 3, keep upright. Notice if you started pinging forward. Pause here. I want you to hold with the legs. So legs stay bent 90-90 or wherever your bend is for you today. And we're gonna rotate those arms out in little circles. Maybe start winding into bigger circles. And then reverse direction, starting with big circles, spiraling in, bringing them a little bit more narrow. Yeah. Hands come to hips. Now that front heel lifts and lowers. Nothing else changes. Front heel lifts and lowers. Oh my goodness gracious. You are doing such good things for your body. The lower body's getting so much love, the upper body will get a little love a little bit later. For 2 and 1. Do you want to be done with these? Let's do that. Go ahead and step out of it. Whew. Maybe just pedaling those feet out a little bit. Shake, shake, shake. And we'll extend the opposite leg behind us now for those lunges. So remember, the torso stays super upright. We inhale as we bend that back knee, exhale as we rise. So again, we're checking in with that posture. We're thinking about pressing that front heel down into the ground to get even more engagement. This is our full range, please. You got it. Finding that perfect edge for you, but also pacing yourself because now you know what's to come. You know better. Let's do 3, 2, 1, we're coming all the way down. We're only rising halfway up. So we straighten a little, we bend a lot. Straighten a little, bend a lot. Good. Now, wherever you are today, your lunge may look different than mine, and that is totally cool. It should look different. We're different people. We have different bodies, different backgrounds, different injuries. Here's 2. 1, we pause here. Do you remember what comes next? Static hold. We're going for some arm circles. We start little, we make our way bigger. And then we reverse direction, making them smaller and smaller. All right, hands come to hips. We lift that front heel, we lower it. Lift that front heel and lower. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Last one. And then let's come all the way up. Curtsy lunges are next. All right, we're gonna sweep the right leg behind the left, hands come to hips. We keep that torso upright just like we did for our regular lunges. And then it's a bend of both knees and rise. Both knees and rise. Where do you feel this working that's different from the lunges we did before? Probably you're feeling this a little bit more on the outer edge of this seat. You got it. And again, the same rules apply. You're gonna lower only down as low as works for you today. Inhale as you lower, exhale as you rise. We're looking at 4 more full range, and you may have an idea of what's next. You guessed it. Half range is next, and it's your choice if it's the top half where you lower halfway down and then fully straighten, or for a little bit more fire, find the bottom half and those knees will not come completely straight. Yes. Oh, goodness. Now again, check in with that posture. Try to keep the crown of the head lifting up towards the sky, even though those knees are bending. So nice. Looking at 3. Here's 2. We're gonna add some pulses. So find your lowest point that your knees are okay with. Give me 1 inch up, 1 inch down. Now this pulse is really slow. We avoid bouncing because bouncing is easier, but bouncing does not give us better legs or better muscles. Strength gives us better muscles. So we avoid momentum. It's all muscle. Here's 2. Here's 1. Okay, pause with the legs. The legs stay where they are in this bent position. We're going to cactus the arms out and then reach it up on the exhale. Inhale, take it down. Exhale, reach it up. I'm gonna do it 3 more times. Almost done. Last time here, and then we're just gonna add 1 little twist. We're going to shift the weight forward. So now that torso comes forward. All the weight is in that front standing leg. That back heel now lifts in towards the booty. We're just squeezing in with the hamstrings. That foot is flexed. Tap the ground. Squeeze. Tap, squeeze, tap. Just 2 more, please. Last one, and let's take it upright. Holy moly. Maybe shake those hips out side to side. You could even take a little figure 4 stretch here. So we're actually gonna stretch the standing leg is one that got all the love on that one. So we take that heel over the ankle. Good. Set that down, and then we sweep that leg that we just stretched out behind us. Coming down into our full range curtsy lunges, whatever full range means to you. Good, checking in with that posture again, please. Again, you're gonna just breathe in on the way down and out on the way up. Whew. I bet you're feeling like $1,000,000, or at least you will when this is over. And hey, I have a little fun fact for you. This is the last thing we're going to be doing with lower body. Maybe that gives you a little more mojo now to find that half range. Yes. So whatever you did for your half range on one side, let's try to match that on the other. Good. Torso stays upright still. Relax the shoulders down. For 4, 3, 2, pulses are next. So finding the bottommost portion, and it's a little lift and lower and lift and lower. Remember, this is so slow and controlled. You're in total and complete control here. You are in the driver's seat. 3. Here's 2. We're pausing at the bottom. The legs stay as they are. Cactus arms, those arms out to the side, and then reach it up. Inhale, bend. Exhale, reach. 3 more times, please. Whoo la la. Good, just one more thing to go here. You can do this. We're hinging forward, but we keep that belly pulling in for a flat back. Weight shifts to the front heel, and that back heel lifts in towards the glute. Yes. Kick and squeeze. Kick and squeeze. 2. Here's 1, and congratulations, you made it through the standing lower body section, and that's a major milestone. But we want to knock out every body part today, so we are going to grab a sip of water on your way as we collect our weights for our standing upper body work. You're going to feel so fantastic, so don't leave me yet. Stay with me. You can do it. Thankfully, our heart rate is going to start to come down a little bit now because we are moving on to the upper body. So we're starting with some front raises. So we're grabbing those weights, and it's going to be a lift up and lower, lift up and lower. So the arms stay long without completely locking in the elbows. We're only taking it up to shoulder height. The wrists are also staying as narrow as the shoulders. So just lifting straight up. So nice. How about 2? Here's 1. Now let's lift it all the way up, only halfway down. Oh, this thing just got real, yeah? You got it. Pulling belly in towards spine, dropping those shoulders. Let's just do 2. Here's 1. Now hold it all the way up to the top. 1 inch. 1 inch, you can do it, yes. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it here, hold. Just hold it parallel to the ground. We're giving us little extensions up and down with those wrists. So just show me your fingers and then send it away. Show me your fingers, send it away. Let's do 4, 3, 2, and 1. So good. All right, from here we're moving into lateral raises. So same story, those arms, they're gonna stay straight, coming to shoulder height, but this time they're coming to the sides of the shoulder instead of in front. Yes, you got it. If this is starting to feel a little bit too intense for you, you could try bending the elbows a little bit. The longer that you take them, the more challenging it's gonna be. We're only taking it to shoulder height. We're trying to relax those shoulders, although I know they're working hard. It's a lot to ask, but we're at least thinking about relaxing them, at least considering it. Let's do 3. Here's 2. Here's 1. Lower halfway down, and let's raise it back up. Lower halfway down, raise it back up. See if you can make these slow. I know we want to bounce and fling them up in the air, but we're gonna stay so strong. For 3, 2, pause at the top. Give me little 1 inch pulses up, 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 up. 3, 2, 1. Next, we are going to hold. To keep us busy while we do this, we're gonna find some calf raises here. Lift those heels, lower them, lift, lower, 2, 1. And now we're gonna take those heels down. We're gonna take the palms all the way in and open it back out. Connect those weights together, take it back out to the sides of the shoulders. Do that 3 more times. 2, and 1. Whew, let's let those shoulders go. Maybe shrug a few circles in one direction and then the other. Perfect. We're moving right along. We're heading next into our bicep curls. So again, we're just checking in with our posture. We want those feet to be firmly planted into the mat. They're about hip width distance apart and they are parallel, so toes are as narrow as those heels. We're actively contracting the legs, so we're pressing the feet into the floor as though we were moving it away. We are pulling belly in towards spine, and that's what's going to help us find a little bit more range of motion in those bicep curls. So we're keeping those elbows tucked into the rib cage as we lift those wrists up towards the shoulders and lower and lift. Good. Try exhaling as you take those wrists up towards the shoulders and inhaling as you lengthen them down. So check in, see if your elbows are moving forward as you lift those weights, and see if you can just keep them back down, please. You got it. Here's 3. Here's 2. 1. All right, we're gonna lower all the way down, halfway up. All the way down, halfway up. You got it. Yes, so we're just taking those arms up to parallel, and then we fully lengthen. For 3, 2, last one here, we're just gonna move all the way up to the top of that and then lowering down to that same return point where it's parallel. We're just coming at it from a different angle this time. We're still thinking about pulling the belly in, pressing that floor away, keeping those elbows hugged in. Here's 2. Here's 1. Now I want you to pause with them parallel so the wrists are right in front at the elbows. Give me 1 inch lift, 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 lift. 4, 3, 2, pause here, just pause. Arms stay still. We're gonna step it side to side. Just step side to side, shift that weight, do a little dance, maybe it will help. For 4, 3, 2, come centered. This is the last thing we'll do here, but it's a doozy. We're gonna take those elbows forward to the shoulders as you extend those wrists forward and in. Take it out and in, out and in. Looking for 3, 2, and 1. You got it. Tricep extensions are next. Just take a little moment if you need to though, to roll everything out, release any tension in the shoulders and neck. And when you're ready, we are going to bend into the knees a little bit here just to get a little bit of an angle for our tricep extensions. Now, the further forward that you hinge, the more you are going to be feeling this in the backs of the arms and really everywhere. Of course, you're getting a little extra lower body love here, and then we're pulling the belly in towards the spine, so the core's getting in on the party as well. From here, we're going to face the wrists in towards each other, the palms in towards each other on those weights. We take the elbows as far behind us and up as high to the ceiling as they'll go, and then we straighten those weights behind us and take it in. Straighten it out, take it in. So we're trying to keep those elbows nice and high as we bend the weights in. Good. Exhale as you straighten, and then you can breathe in as you take those weights back in. Yes. Here's 3, 2, 1. Could you pull it in only halfway? Straighten all the way back out. Halfway in, all the way back out. That is hard to do. You're doing amazing. And if those elbows do start to lag a little bit, just do the best to keep them lifted. It may not be perfect. That is okay. Perfect is boring. Perfect means that you are not being challenged. Let's do 2. Here's 1. Now keep those arms long, please. We're gonna give me a little micro lift up, 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 up. Here's 4, 3, 2, 1. I want you to pause here, please. Pause, pause, pause. Just hold it. Checking in with your posture. Notice if you've slumped forward with that posture. If so, lift the chest, but lower the hips. Yes. And then I want you to take those weights in towards the body. In, in, in. So palms are now reaching up towards the sky. It's in, in. 3, 2, 1. Oh my goodness. Let's come all the way up. Set those weights down. Grab some water before we move into our core work. You are doing so well. I'm really proud that you've made it this far. Moving into our standing side work now. Again, you may choose to hold on to something that's stable here. I suggest that for the first few times. See how it goes. Otherwise, you could take your hand to your hip. The right leg is going to reach out to the side, and that right arm is going to reach over to the left wall. So it's reaching out towards the opposite direction. Your torso leans as you do that, and then as you come back upright with that spine, you're taking the elbow towards the knee. Good, let's do that again. We'll inhale as we open up and exhale as we crunch it in. So we're trying to keep that knee rotated towards the center of the room as opposed to in front of us. So you're taking it out to the side to open in the hip. Elbow and knee do not have to touch, that's just the direction they're heading in. And if you're feeling a little fiery and wanted to see what a little bit more would feel like, you could try lengthening the arm and the leg. Not easy for sure. And again, they don't have to touch, they're just moving towards each other. But if you prefer, those side crunches with the bent knee and elbow are plenty of work just as they are. Let's do 3. Here's 2. Here's 1, perfect. And then we'll sweep it over to the other side. So send that leg out. You're gonna lift up and over. The further forward that you lean, the more those obliques along the waistline have to work to get you upright. And open and connect. Good, inhale as you lengthen. Exhale as you take it all in. Send that knee a little bit more towards the side of your body as opposed to the front of your body, please. Looking for 3. Here's 2. And here's 1. Beautiful. All right. Well, I've got good news and bad news. The good news is we are done with our standing work. The bad news is our core work is going to be effective. Let's just say that. But hey, it's all good. You're going to feel so proud of yourself. So we're going to come down onto either a mat or on the carpet, and we're going to come onto all 4s. So we're going to be on our hands and knees. Again, we just kind of want to check in on our foundational setup here. So our knees are right underneath our hips. They're about hip width distance apart. Our wrists are going to be under the shoulders. We're pressing in that space between the thumb and the pointer finger and spreading those fingers wide so that the wrists stay happy. Now from here, we want to think about having a flat back so that belly hugs in. The back of the neck is long, so you may choose at this point just to listen to my voice as opposed to watching me on the screen. And from here, we're going to add a little balance challenge. So coming into our bird dog, or from yoga, we would call this our spinal balance. We're going to send the right fingertips forward, and that palm turns to rotate towards the midline of the body. Yep. And then the left heel is going to extend behind us. So it's opposite arm, opposite leg. Go ahead and flex the foot of that right leg and notice how more stable you feel. We're only lifting up to hip height. We are continuing to breathe, please. That would be amazing. Good, and then if you wanted to add on, exhale, let's take those elbows, the elbow and the knee to touch underneath the chest, or maybe they don't touch, maybe they just come closer to each other, and then inhale, reach it out long. Exhale, find that crunch. Inhale, try to take it all the way up to shoulder and hip height, but no higher. Belly hugs in to prevent that leg from going all the way up to the sky and arching the back. Last time here. Now you can either come to all 4s, we already did a lot, or if you wanted a little bit more, you would find that spinal balance again, this time sending the right leg towards the right and the left arm out towards the left. Or if you were doing the opposite side, I might have said that backwards, but whatever arm and leg you were working, we're just sending them to opposite sides and then back in on the exhale. Ooh, that's the kicker, isn't it? It's that return that's making us breathless. Let's do 2. Here's 1. Amazing. Now remember, I'm showing you all the options today. You don't have to take all of them the first time you do this. I hope you don't. And let's just shake those hips side to side. When you're ready, we got the other side to do. So opposite arm forward, opposite leg backward. We're flexing the foot of that leg, lifting it all at hip height, belly hugs in. Reach those fingertips, palms facing inward. Continue to breathe though. There's a temptation when we have static hold, isometric toning, that we tend to want to hold our breath, but the breath is definitely still necessary, still helpful. Please do keep breathing. And you can take a rest, or if you want to add that crunch, let's exhale, knee towards elbow, inhale, lengthen it out. Exhale, knee towards elbow, lengthen it out. We're gonna do this 3 more times if you choose, or you could do it a different number of times. It's up to you, it's your practice. Perfect. And again, option to take it down, take a rest, or if you wanted a little bit more, let's take the opposite leg and arm out to the side and then sweep it forward and back. Ooh, yes, try to keep those arm and leg at hip and shoulder height if you can. I know I'm asking a lot out of you. Here's 3, here's 2, and 1. That'll do it. Go ahead and take everything down to all 4s, and let's just actually find a nice child's pose here. Good. From here, coming back into all fours, we're moving into our donkey kicks next. It's really important as you do this that you pull the belly in towards the spine, because I can demonstrate for you for a second here. It's easy for me to lift my heel higher if I arching my back, but all that does is that takes the work out of the glute and the belly and puts it instead into a strain of the low back. So I'm better off keeping my back flat by pulling the abdominals in and lifting lower with the heel. I'm actually gonna get more work out of it. Good, so it's focused and intentional work as opposed to big, showy work. All right, from there I flex that foot, the back and the neck comes long, so I'm just looking between my hands. I stamp that foot up towards the ceiling and lower it down a little bit. Lift it up, lower it down. You got it. Whew, make sure that belly's not sagging, please. Notice if it just started to dip as you get tired. Here's 3, 2, 1. Now we're gonna take that knee out to the side. So it's lifting it straight up to hip height or as high as you wanna take it today and back in. These are called fire hydrants, which is kind of a funny name for them, but no one's really come up with a better name for them so far. If you have a name suggestion that beats fire hydrant, go ahead and tell me. I'd love to hear it. You're keeping the rest of your body super still as you do this. Good, maybe a little pause at the top. Give me a little lift, why not? Only if you want to. If it's stressing you out, just skip it. For 3, 2, 1, lower it down. We'll see how the other side feels. Maybe that's your side. Exhale as you lift, inhale as you lower. Again, the rest of the torso stays still as you do this. And you're probably feeling this in the supporting side of the booty. So the one that's not moving is the one that's having to stabilize like mad. And that's why barre is such a functional movement. You have all these little supporting muscles that have to kick in to keep your form correct. It's so good for preventing injury. Let's do 3, 2, and remember we had the option to add those little lifts here at the top. Little lift, lift, lift. Whew. Don't get too comfy, we still have more work to do. Remember, this is a full class that we're taking today. Let's come on to our belly. We're moving into swimming. So we're taking this from our sister workout Pilates, and barre is really a fusion of Pilates, yoga, and ballet and strength training. And we're going to take arms and legs behind us, and as we lift the right leg, we're going to lift the right arm and then do the opposite on the other side. So it's a small movement. It's kind of that same opposition concept from our bird dog or our spinal balance, but this time we're just doing it with belly on the ground and long legs. So we call this swimming. We start to pick up the pace. Now this is so good for working strength in the low to mid back, improving our posture, improving back pain if we have weakness in our low back muscles. Good, continue to breathe please for 3, 2, and 1. So nice. All right, we have a little bit more to do before our cool down. You're gonna be so glad you did this. So let's go ahead and roll onto our backs. And we're gonna have the knees bent, soles of the feet together. We're gonna take the hands behind the head, and then we're gonna pull the belly button in so that we're lifting off one bone at a time, just kind of rolling off that spine as we lift up. Now we're gonna only lift up as far as we can without having to kind of fling ourselves up. So if that means that we don't get all the way up, hey, that's okay. And then we lower down one bone at a time. So as we do this, we're pulling the belly in towards the back body. It kind of wants to pop up here, but we're gonna think about pulling it in instead, like a corset, as opposed to letting the top layer of muscles kind of puff out on top. Does that make sense? But and sometimes that just comes over practice before that really kind of makes sense. Whew, yeah, this will do it. It's slow and controlled. With abdominal work, the slower, the better. Working against gravity here. Gravity is really the equipment that we're using right now. Let's do 3. Remember, these are super slow, so here's 2. Here's 1. And roll all the way down. We're coming into a good old-fashioned bicycle. So we're gonna take that right knee in towards the chest, extend that left leg long. We're gonna reach up and rotate towards that right knee with the elbow and just switch sides. Switch, switch. Good. Now you can make this a little bit easier by taking the long leg higher up towards the sky. Make it a little bit more challenging by taking it lower, but I want to make sure that you really feel like your back is not arching as you do that, please. Finding some good rotation here. Exhaling as you crunch, inhaling between. Let's do 2 more each direction, please. And then let's lie all the way down. Our bend and stretch is next. Now this one's super important that you keep the arch of your back kind of plastered down onto that mat the whole time so that we avoid putting any strain on the low back. So if you do have any back pain or you're just still working on building up your core strength, then you just want to make sure and pull the belly in and not take the legs down quite as low if that's the case. So we start with the legs in tabletop position. So knees are right above the hips. We have a 90-degree angle, so those calves and shins are parallel to the ground. From here, we're going to extend those legs out at a 45-degree angle, so just reaching those heels up and out. And then we bend it back in, but we only come with the knees above the hips. We don't come in any closer than that. We stop when those knees are about to kind of cross over that vertical plane of the hips. And that's just to keep the abdominals going. If we were to take the knees all the way into the chest, that would take the work out of the abs, and we want to work those abs. So again, if you're feeling any type of strain or lift in the arch of the back, then just take those legs a little bit higher on a diagonal. You can have a higher diagonal or a lower diagonal. Lower is going to be more challenging for sure. Let's do 3. Here's 2. Here's 1. We have a little variation next. So we start the same way we started that last one, the bend and stretch, but this time we're gonna take the knees apart, keep the heels together though. Heels together, toes open. So we have a little letter V with the shape of our feet. The knees are wider than the hips, but again, they're not coming in all the way towards the chest. We keep them about the same vertical plane as those hips, and then we extend those legs out on a diagonal, squeezing those inner thighs together, bend it back in. So toes stay open the entire time. Bend it back in. Exhale as you send it away. Inhale as you draw those knees back in. Good, here's 4. Use your breath. 2. And 1. So good. I have some really good news for you. We are moving into our cool down. We worked so hard today. These were simple movements designed for people who are new to barre, but they are not easy by any means. So whatever you did today was amazing. We want to cool you down now, make sure we're lengthening those muscles and just finding a little bit of relaxation. So let's come all the way down onto our back. We're coming into our supine pigeon. So you've got a couple of options here. You can bend the left knee, keeping the sole of the foot on the ground, and then that right ankle would come to cross on top of the left thigh. We can just leave it here if that's plenty for you. If you want a little bit more, you could take that whole shape closer to your chest, so left heel comes off the ground. Interlacing hands behind the hamstring, or for even more, you could thread the fingertips through in front of the shin. If you do this, make sure you're sending that tailbone back down towards the mat. It kind of likes to peel up off here, but we want to decompress the spine by using a little bit of low back strength to send that tailbone down. Good, we're working in opposition here if we're pulling the knees towards our chest, which is so good for our back. Finding some deep breaths here, releasing the outer hip, piriformis muscle that we worked so hard today. I'm pretty sure you're going to feel that in the next day or 2. And then let's set that one down. And before we do the other side, we're just going to rotate so that right knee continues to be bent, and we're going to take that across the midline of the body. Arms can come out wide if you like as we take a little spinal twist. Trying to keep both shoulders on the ground if we can. Letting that low back go. We did a lot for our core today. And then slowly come back towards center. And we'll start with pigeon on the other side, so crossing ankle over thigh. You can either leave that right foot on the ground, or you can pick it up, drawing it towards you, either behind hamstring or in front of shin. Again, just a touch of mid-back strength to keep that tailbone anchored down to the mat. That feels so good. And then let's extend that right leg long. Left bent knee continues to travel over towards the right side. Arms come out to a capital letter T. Both shoulders are going to remain on that ground for this twist, please. And let's take it all the way back in. Here, coming into our supine split. So we're going to take both legs over the hips, reach them up for the sky, and then start to find a little straddle here. So it's your choice. Depending on how tight you're feeling today, you can keep your elbows on the ground and just kind of prop up your outer thighs to release into this without causing any type of gripping or straining of the muscles. If you have the capacity and the length to do that, you could also reach for the ankles or even the outsides of the feet. But again, just notice if that tailbone is trying to peel up off of the ground. So just a little bit of back muscle to send it back down, please. Starting to feel that heart rate slow down, the breath starts to slow down to a deeper pattern rhythm. And then let's use those arms to help connect those legs back together over the hips, reaching them up towards the ceiling. We're gonna flex and point those feet, just finding a little bit more openness in the calves. We did a lot with those heels lifted today, so we did a lot of ankle work. And let's draw little circles with the ankles in one direction. And then let's roll them in the opposite direction. Hugging the knees in towards the chest, again sending the tailbone long along the ground. And then let's rock up to a seated position.
I am truly so proud of you. I hope you subscribe so that we can hang out again next week. But I want to keep this wellness party going between now and then. So I would love to invite you to download my free Wellthy Boss starter kit to jumpstart your wellness makeover. With this starter kit, you're going to get a bonus workout, a 25-minute cardio and yoga circuit workout that you can't find anywhere else, my free monthly fitness goal setting worksheet to help you keep accountable to your goals whenever life changes, because that is usually what throws our consistency off. So we've got to keep those goals relevant with what our life actually looks like, as well as my free Mega Head breakfast recipe guide that's going to give you a month's worth of low carb, high protein, super healthy breakfast that you can make ahead for the entire week in 10 minutes or less. So don't forget to download my free starter kit at wealthyboss.com/starter kit. And again, don't forget to subscribe so we can hang out again next week. If you liked this video, could you give it a thumbs up? That would mean so much to me. I'd love to meet you, so leave me a comment below and I'll see you next time. Bye.